Ninja Turtles fans have become accustomed to low-effort release after low-effort release after low-effort release after so many low-effort releases that when we get one with effort, we sometimes don't know how to act.
It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to my review of the Arrow Video Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Trilogy 4K Blu-ray Limited Edition set. And like I alluded to in the intro, it is kind of crazy to get a Ninja Turtles release that had actual, genuine human effort put into it. And at one point in the near future, we're going to be discussing the home video history of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all their releases, and all of their problems. So if you don't want to miss out on that, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And while you're down there, hit the like, because I am very excited to talk about the Arrow Video Ninja Turtles Trilogy set. So this is officially releasing on December 16th, 2025. Some retailers got it out early. I purchased mine through Diabolic DVD. They are awesome, not sponsored from them, but I just want to say Diabolic is one of the coolest independent retailers for home video. And this is an excellent release, and I want to talk about why. We're going to go super in-depth. But before we get there, let's talk about the editions, because this edition I have is the 4K edition, because this is the 4K standard of the limited edition. There's also a Blu-ray set that looks identical to this, but it's the Blu-ray discs, not 4K discs. There was also on the Arrow Video store, they had a limited edition alternate artwork version that was artwork by Matt Frank, and those were released for 4K and Blu-ray as an alternate option. I ultimately did like the standard poster arts for everything, which a bunch of these are brand new artwork by, I believe, what was the artist? Flory. Flory did the artwork for this set. Matt Frank did the artwork for the Arrow set. So if you're looking for it, you know, if it's this set, this is the standard, and then there's also that Arrow Video Limited Edition. You can kind of see the artistic, stylistic differences, and then each movie also has a different poster on each release. That's the only difference. Contents-wise, it's exactly the same, which is what I really like. So let's take a look at this. I have talked about Arrow Video in the past being one of my favorite home video companies, especially when it comes to limited editions. They knock it out of the park. So when they got the announcement that they were doing Ninja Turtles, I was so excited. I mean, my excitement was through the roof because we have never really had a high-effort Ninja Turtles home video release. I think the closest we got was Shout Factory put a couple bonus features on Next Mutation, but we've never had anything to this level, which is like, brand new transfers, brand new bonus features, existing features, like high quality, someone loved the material and put work into it type release. It's never really happened for Ninja Turtles. It's always been, in the corporate ownership space, and Turtles is just seen as like, oh, it'll sell if we make it. So this is, movies are owned by Warner Brothers, which is funny because I got them through New Line. And Warner Brothers has released the same Blu-rays over and over and over again. This is the set I have, which is Ninja Turtles 1, 2, and 3. And these are just like the most bare bones of Blu-rays. I mean, first of all, they're transparent, which is funny. But the Blu-rays themselves are just the movies. I believe they're just the DVD transfers just slapped onto Blu-ray. They have like basically no special features whatsoever on them. They're essentially like the most bare bones disc, and they just keep reprinting them and reprinting them and reprinting them and reprinting them over and over and over again with never updating them, never making them good, never upgrading them. And so we've wanted something better for a long time. Of note, Warner Brothers also did own the rights to TMNT, the 2007 animated film. That is not included here. It was included here because it's a pseudo-sequel to this trilogy, but it's still technically its own continuity. It doesn't have a new 4K. Maybe it will in the future. But if you are looking for the Blu-ray, it wasn't like this set as the one I got. But they also did a standalone Blu-ray for the movie. But yeah, let's get into the high-quality nature of the Turtles trilogy. So one of the things I'm really impressed by is the fact that like this set, I think this set was like $65 for 3 4Ks, which is an amazing deal. Usually 4Ks run like $30, $35 a piece, even in a bundle pack. So really like that. I love the slipcover because when you have a box set and there's stuff that can shake out of it, it's nice to have something over it so it doesn't do that. Also of note, because I know Diabolic DVD had to like tweet about it. They're like, stop sending us emails. There's nothing broken. There's some objects that are kind of loose in the cases, so if you shake it, it sounds like there's stuff rattling around. it's not actually rattling around. There's some stickers in there that are causing the problem. But you can see we pull the sleeve off. You can see the inside box. Very basic, but you got the nice little like ooze canister there. And then here is the content. So let's take a look. All right, we're going to start, of course, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love that each movie gets its own Blu-ray case. I love that they're also like full-size cases, not the slim pack cases. It's really, really cool. So you got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is the new artwork by Flory on the front here. You can give a kind of a overview of the bonus features. We, of course, are going to take a look at the discs and talk about them in depth. But this is a brand new 4K restoration from the original camera negative by Arrow Films, which is approved by director Steve Barron. So you get the 4K 2160p Ultra HD Blu-ray presentation, and then you get 2 lossless stereo mixes, the original theatrical mix and an alternate Warrior mix, plus a new remixed Dolby Atmos audio. So they have done, like I said, the absolute crazy amount of work on this movie. Also of note, the Blu-ray edition is going to be the same transfer, just on a 1080p Blu-ray instead of a full resolution 4K. All right, so as I open this, you can start to see stuff begins to fall out. Let's just pull these out of here. There's a nice little thing that's like, hey, join the Arrow Video fan club, and it's also teasing their Excalibur release that's coming up. You can see the disc there has the matching artwork to the front, which is really, really cool. But what's also awesome is just like a lot of Arrow Video releases, you have a reversible cover that has the original theatrical poster on the back, which is cool. I also like that the spine changes, because the spine there, I think that is that Michelangelo? No, it's Raphael there, but then you get Michelangelo peeking up on the spine. So that's really cool. I'm going to keep the Flory artwork on the front because I like the consistency, and I like that it is new art pieces, but you have the option there, which I think is always awesome. Included here, we've also got some stickers. You can see we've got Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael. I think these are the Turtles 3 versions of the suits. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not always the best at those kind of details, but I do believe these are the Turtles 3 looks, because they don't look as good. But these are stickers. These are just straight-up stickers. And then we get some trading cards, which I think is fun. So we got Leonardo, who's numbered 1. We got Michelangelo, numbered 2. We got Donatello, numbered 3. So I didn't catch this while filming, but that is not actually Donatello in that photo. That is Leonardo. You can see his other sword there. And if I missed it, then whoever was on the graphics team for this set also missed it. It happens. And Raphael, numbered 4, which is awesome. They all have the same back here, which is basically the design of the outer box, which is awesome. So they put those in there. Now there are other cards with the other movies, which I think is fun. So we'll just I'm gonna just slip these in here. I keep them clipped because yeah, they do, like, I think when they were included, they were just kind of loose in here, right? And so in shipping and transit, you get. So yeah, that's what, you know, people were like, oh my God, is the set broken? No, it's just the stickers and the trading cards having a party. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it, like, it's kind of tricky. I kind of feel like I want to take the cards out because I don't really want to leave them clipped because I think it might damage them. The stickers are fine. They're just stickers. But these are kind of fun little bonuses to include in this set here. So let's get to the next movie, which of course is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. I do like that we have Super Shredder. We got Toka and Razar down here. And then we have the Turtles dancing from the dance scene. That, I think, is very appropriate. It really sums up the movie as a whole there. We got Leo on the spine there. This is a brand new 4K from the film's 35mm interpositive. That means it's using a finished film, not a negative. So it's not going to look as good, but it still looks pretty damn good. You're not going to notice hardly any difference. It also just has the stereo audio and the optional 5.1 audio, but no Dolby Atmos. They just worked with what they had. So you can see there, the disc has the new artwork. We also got a couple new trading cards here. We got Master Splinter, listed as number 5, and Shredder, listed as number 6, which is cool. We also get a Roy's Pizza with the phone number, and then, you know, buy 7 pizzas, get the 8th free, which is really, really cool. You also get a poster, which we'll look at in a moment, but of course we got the alternate cover, which is the original Secret of the Ooze. See Donatello's on the spine, but yeah, there's the original Secret of the Ooze poster. Classic, iconic look to it, which is really cool. I do prefer the actual new artwork. But we do get a poster here, which contains, on one side, it's the original Secret of the Ooze, poster art, right? As the original one, which even has the featuring music by Vanilla Ice, You Kid K, and Kathy Dennis. I don't know why I said Dennings. And then on the other side, of course, we've got the brand new artwork for the movie. If you're wondering where the poster is for movie 1, we will get to that in a minute. So that's pretty cool. And that is the second film. All right, and then we got the third film, which is retaining its Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 title. A lot of home video releases over the years will say Turtles in Time as a subtitle. The movie never had that subtitle. That was just added for marketing, because I guess they were, because like, you know, here it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original movie, The Secret of the Ooze, Turtles in Time. That's not actually the original title of the movie. It's just called Ninja Turtles 3. You can see we got the Turtles in their, their samurai warrior gear, their ninja gear, and then the whole setting with Japan and the time travel device there, and you can see we've got Leo on the spine. This one's also a 35mm interpositive 4K restoration, and it also does contain stereo and 5.1. Inside, we've got the disc, and we've got 2 more trading cards. We got April O'Neil, which I do appreciate. We have Judith Hogue and Paige Turco there on the same card. And then we get Casey Jones as our last of the trading cards. I really like these. I really think it's cool. I kind of like also that they split them up across the movies. And then, of course, just like, we're kind of going routine at this point, but new artwork there, original artwork there, which I've always liked the Ninja Turtles 3 poster art. I think that's fun. There's Donnie on the spine. That is one of my, I like that one, I think. I think it's probably my favorite poster of the 3, just because I like how mysterious and dramatic it looks. So that's pretty fun. And then, just like the others, you got your new artwork on one side, and then the original artwork on the other. So pretty cool. This is all stuff that, Arrow Video kind of excels at. Posters, bonuses, tons of bonus features. So what we also get is a bigger poster of the first theatrical movie, right? So this is the first theatrical movie. It's in a much larger size, which is really, really cool. And then on the other side, we have the artwork of the Turtle Warriors mural from the third movie, which I think is kind of a cool, movie replica. I would have liked to have had a third... I know this is, a little greedy, considering how much the set comes with. I would have liked another poster with this artwork on it, because it's just kind of weird that we don't have that. But I do like the larger size for that, and I do like the turtle one on the back there. And then we have the booklet, which is a menu for Roy's Pizza, which I think is so fun. It's even got, the grease stains and the coffee stains and stuff. On the back, you've got even your overall orders here, when a pizza was that cheap or a sandwich was that cheap. Then you go on the inside, you got some nice photos, and we've got contents for cast and crew lists, and then 3 essays about the films. And so you've got all this really cool info. You've got rotting Donatello head immortalized into a Blu-ray booklet. But these are basically discussing the films and how they were adapted and all that stuff, and giving you additional information even beyond the on-disc contents, as well as having some really nice production skills from the movies. Plus, they have some extra details about the presentations and the restorations for those wondering. I'm just going to put that up there if you want to pause and read all the technical details. This is great. Also, here's everybody that worked on this set, and thank you all so much for doing this. Because as a Turtles fan, and as someone especially who loves the 1990 movie in particular, is probably my favorite Turtles production, it is so nice to finally have something with a level of effort and quality like we've never seen before. So on that, it is time to take this to the Blu-ray player and start discussing the on-disc contents and those awesome bonus features. All right, so here we have the disc for the first movie. In terms of the transfer, it is a brand new 4K transfer of the movie of the likes we've never seen before. And I do mean that in the literal sense, because I have seen a lot of copies of this movie over the years, and this is by far the best looking version of it. Some of the scenes are going to be a little bit darker, so they may not be as crisp as others, but for the most part, you're getting the best possible picture presentation you could ever have on this movie, which is really nice to see after all this time. So naturally, with my presentation here, it's hard to exactly tell how good the picture quality is, but the darker scenes, which would get washed out a lot of times on prior releases, especially on the Blu-ray, is much crisper here. You can see everything in its intended shadows and its intended lighting setups. I really like the way it looks on this disc. Okay, so now the big thing for this release is the first ever time this movie's been released with bonus features. So for the audio commentaries, there are two of them. We got one with director Steve Barron, as well as one with comic book expert Dave Baxter. Both of these run for the length of the whole movie and provide a lot of insight into the film. There's also these great set of interviews that Arrow Video did themselves. So we have a director interview with Steve Barron, which gives you some insight into it. And with these interviews, they have some behind-the-scenes stills, as well as some stories. This one's about 14 minutes. They vary in length, but each of them is going to be in-depth on that person and their role in the production. So, for example, the Turtle Talk is going to be interviews with Robbie Rist, Brian Tochi, Ernie Reyes Jr., and Ken Scott about playing the Turtles, which is really cool. You also got an interview with Judah Hogue playing April O'Neil. Then this is kind of where things get a little bit more interesting, because it's not just main cast and director, but we actually get an interview with the producer, Simon Fields, which actually will give you some more insight into the production and how this all came to be. And then we got an interview with Brian Henson and Rob Teigner, who were working in the Jim Henson Creature Shop for this film, and so they have a bunch of insights as well. And this is all new stuff done for this release. One of the coolest ones is that there actually is a new featurette done by Arrow going to the filming locations in New York City and North Carolina for the movie, which reminds me of a similar one they did for The Warriors on Arrow's release of that film, where they went to go find the locations in the present day. And I think that's so cool to have as a bonus feature. Then we get into some really deep cut stuff. So the alternate UK version was because there was a bunch of censorship issues that had to come up with the film because Michelangelo's nunchucks were not allowed to be shown. So in this UK version, it's the entire film with some alternate takes and a bunch of stuff cut to avoid showing the nunchucks. And so this means, like, the famous nunchuck fight that Mikey has with the Foot Ninja, of course, is cut. And then there's some other interesting edits within this. Like this scene where Mikey and Donnie are watching TV, they cropped and zoomed it so you couldn't see the nunchucks on Michelangelo's belt. And if you've seen the movie a lot and you're watching this version and you haven't seen this version, it will be a little jarring at times because you'll see the frame is super cropped and pulled in so you don't see the nunchucks. Sometimes they do appear in background shots, but any of the close-up shots, they are cropped to make sure that those aren't there so that the film could be released over in England. And we also have here is an alternate ending. Now this has been on some releases before. I believe the German Blu-ray had this. And this is sourced from a VHS work print that is considered lost. There's not like the entire thing. This has raw production audio, but it's the ending of the film with a new scene that we never saw at the end of it, where April and Danny are pitching the Turtles story as a comic book. And that was cut pretty late in the game, but it was shot and it is included here, which is really awesome to have. Now, there also is the Korean version, and the Korean version of the movie was redubbed to remove all references to Japan and Japanese culture. That was a requirement of South Korea at the time. And the title card was changed to Teenage Mutant Ninja Hero Turtles, which is also the name that Ninja Turtles got in Europe because there was also a whole thing with ninjas and violence and stuff. So this actually features the footage that is different, which would be the shot replaced in Splinter's flashback, as well as the Hero Turtles title card. If you want to have the South Korean version, it is included as an alternate audio track, which is kind of crazy. The funny part, too, is that in order to get this footage of the South Korean version, it was sourced from the VHS and Laserdisc release in Japan. It's weird how life works out sometimes. We also get all these trailers, the US theatrical, the UK teaser, the UK theatrical, and the UK re-release trailer, which is nice to have. And we get an image gallery with a bunch of behind-the-scenes images. Some of them feature Jim Henson, which I think is really cool. But this is just a neat feature to have a nice gallery of images. Now, in terms of audio options, we have English Stereo, English Dolby Atmos, which is a new mix, and then English Stereo Alternate Warrior mix. It means they changed every instance of Ninja and replaced it with Warrior, and that was the South Korean audio there, which will play over the entire film if you wish. And then for subtitles, we have subtitles off or English for the hearing impaired. This is a pretty stacked disc, and there may be a couple things missing that we'll talk about in a moment, but there is a lot on here. Alright, so Secret of the Ooze is up next. Now this once again has a brand new 4K transfer, and this is actually the first time it's been released because the 4K for the first movie had a theatrical re-release. This is also a pretty stellar transfer. I got no complaints. It looks great. It sounds great. This is the best it's ever looked for this movie. I believe that the first film was sourced from negative, whereas this was sourced from other footage, but it still looks amazing. This is much better than what we've had before. Now for special features here, we do have a commentary track. This is with the director of the film, Michael Pressman. I was going to interview John Duprez, who was the composer behind all the films, and I like that some of these bonus features do overlap. The people that worked on multiple films, they talk about all the films they worked on, not just the first one. Hardcores, which is an interview with Kenny Wilson, the former mold shop supervisor at Jim Henson Creature Shop. Secret of the Edit was with editor Steve Merkovich, who worked on some of the films, specifically this one, and that is also another really cool interview. Behind the Shells is one of the things that I'm shocked has not been on a release before. None of the releases of Turtles Secret of the Ooze that I've had have included the making of feature from 1991 that was made to promote the movie. I have a VHS tape of this, but I've never had it on a physical disc. This is an old behind-the-scenes feature, but it's got a lot of actual, footage of them filming the movie, which is very rare for any of these Turtles films. There also is the theatrical trailer and another image gallery specific to Secret of the Ooze. For audio options, we have English 2.0 and English 5.1. And then subtitles, we have English for hearing impaired or off. All right, here we have Ninja Turtles 3. Once again, a new transfer on this film to make it look better than it ever has. It's not the best looking of movies to begin with, but this is a good transfer. It really brings out all the film's qualities that it does have. Now, special features here are a little bit more limited, but we do have a commentary with director Stuart Gillard. We do have an interview with Vivian Wu for this movie, and it's great because, a lot of people talk about the first movie, a lot of people talk about the second movie. Nobody ever talks about the people that worked on specifically Turtles 3. So we have another one with Sab Shimono, who was also in the film. There's the alternate UK opening, which was a different opening credits because, once again, removing the use of nunchucks. Theatrical trailer and an image gallery. Plus, for the audio options, we do have English 2.0 and 5.1, and we have, of course, the English for hearing impaired subtitles, or the off option. So I want to address what is missing from this disc, and I put that in big air quotes because somebody's going to mention some things, and I thought, let me address them. So Arrow Video, as a company, I imagine they got every single thing onto these discs that they could. There's approvals, there's finding it, there's getting licenses, there's all that stuff. With how packed these discs are, if there was anything they could have put on it, they would have. And so I really adore this set, and I don't have a problem with any of the following stuff I'm going to mention not being on here because I don't really see it as a problem. Now, that being said, there are a lot of deleted scenes from this film. There has been footage and images pointing to other cut sequences, like there was supposed to be a whole subplot with Michelangelo being angry about Splinter and at the farmhouse, but they cut that because then it was like, well, Mikey and Raph are now both the angry ones, so that throws off the dynamics, and part of that survives in the film, and part of it exists through some stills and some trailer shots. There's an alternate introduction to Casey Jones. There's an alternate opening shot. There's some other stuff that we have seen that's not on the disc, and part of what we've seen, like the alternate Casey Jones entrance, the alternate opening, and some of the behind-the-scenes dailies, were in the Turtle Power documentary and its follow-up, and I believe that documentary team and that company owns the rights to that footage because they purchased that footage for their documentary. I would imagine that because they want to keep it to their documentary, the thing that they sell, they didn't license it to Arrow to have it on the set. So that's the thing I wanted to address, because somebody's going to be like, where's all the deleted footage we've seen in other things? They belong to other things. They don't belong to WB or New Line or Arrow to use on the set. I'm sure if there was a way to do it, Arrow would have done it. That is the kind of company they are. And based on all the other bonus features we got, which is magnificent and adds way more to the set than some alternate cuts, it definitely is still like, yes, technically there is some deleted footage that isn't on here, but we got the stuff that was more story significant that we do have footage for, like the alternate ending, which I think is more important. I do like some of those alternate shots that existed, but they ultimately serve the same narrative purpose, where the alternate ending is something like, oh, here's a different way this movie could have ended. And so I think in that sense, the disc is complete in my eyes, especially because the behind the scenes with the commentaries and the interviews covers everything you need to know about the film. And honestly, like, yeah, not every disc is going to contain every single thing that could have possibly existed, but I think this one is well packed, and I don't have a problem with any of this missing stuff. That's just something I wanted to address for all those wondering. So the question is, should you buy this? Absolutely. I'm giving it such a glowing review. I don't know if that was even up for contention. If you are someone who loves these movies, get the Blu-ray or the 4K, depending on what your setup is. You know, there's not a set that contains both Blu-ray and 4K, so I guess get both if you need both formats. But for me, I have a PS5, I got a 4K player. I'm good, just get the 4Ks. But, there is the Blu-ray option out there, which I think is awesome. This is absolutely worth it. This would be worth it if it cost more than it does, but it's not that expensive for a modern home video set. And it is one of the best releases of the year and the best release for this franchise. So if you love these movies and if you always wanted to have a really nice set that actually has behind the scenes material that really goes into the production of the films, you can't go wrong with this. It is absolutely worth the money. And I'm so happy to say that because, being a Turtles fan that collects home video, it's rough. It's rough out here, as I've discussed on the channel with all these previous releases. This is what I wish all of them could be. But as it is the most special release in the Turtles franchise and is absolutely the best. So that does it for this video. Stay tuned because now that this is released, there's no upcoming Ninja Turtles home video. So I'm going to go into the home video history of Ninja Turtles in a single video. And hopefully that doesn't kill me. But if you want to see that happen, hit subscribe now so you don't miss out. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already so you don't miss out on future videos on the channel, particularly for the Ninja Turtles home video history. Also, be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. Do appreciate that. That really helps the channel, really helps the videos get out. And if you want to continue the conversation, you can join our Discord server in the link below. You can also check out the channel memberships where there's perks like early access to videos. So let's give some special shout outs to our channel members. Special shout out to our channel members, including Captain Tears, Spanish54, Masterman95, Forever1000, Super Shadix Boom, Veloquence, Rogue Leader 2448, Mr. Smelly Potato, Kaiju954, Cameron Meter, Patty, Infinite 1985, Tokutaku, NXT, Crestfallen Thoughts at Midnight, Taran Easton, Common Jojo, Mama, Jess Hood, Phil's Nerdyverse, Dr. Grid, Onio Nichan, David Johnson, Alt Mode Archive, Rivers, Common Pikachu, Jamie's World, Showbiz, NCNA, Mick M, Basil Expedition, Vlade, Kyle Birdwell, Alice James, and Doge9789. Thank you all for your support. If you so wish, you can find me on social media on Blue Sky and Letterboxd at Soundout12. You can also find my wonderful graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643. And you can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for entertainment interviews and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying, Cowabunga. It's so nice to finally get something good.